Thank you all for coming today. It meant a lot to everybody. We really appreciate it. Your support is just amazing. I wanted to let you guys know there's a guest book over here that we'd really like each and every one of you to sign, maybe say a little something. Memories like that last forever. They want to make sure that they remember that you were here and what you were doing. I'm Mick Knoble. This is Keely, my wife. We want to thank you for coming today to share the special occasion. Katie and I have known Barry and Dee for a very long time. We belong to the same church, Community of Christ. We've gone to the same events for years, Band Institute, church camps, college graduations, just about everything that's meaningful. We've been there together. We were already friends, and now we get to be family. And I couldn't be happier, and I'm sure that Katie feels the exact same way. Being a stepfather can be hard. If your child is lucky, they are shared by a lot of people. Mom, dad, step-parents, and all the related parties those people bring with them. I've never been good at sharing, or so I'm told. It's hard to share someone like Keely. She stole my heart the first day I met her, and I've been a very proud parent ever since. She's a person you can't help but want to be around. It was very clear early on that Keely was going to be special. I mean, she does have flame red hair, and all that entails. But that's not really what I meant by being special. I remember she'd climb the walls and entryways in her house. She'd like a monkey and get to the very top of it. Sure enough, she became a gymnast and a cheerleader. I wasn't surprised. She was reading when I first met her and a valedictorian in high school, and I wasn't surprised. She went to college, graduated and passed her MCATs because she wanted to be a doctor. I still wasn't surprised. She chose a wonderful young man to be her husband, who I adore, by the way, and I wasn't surprised. That I get to be a part of her life, share her successes and failures, and know she truly loves me shouldn't have been a surprise, but yet it was. Thank you, Keely, for being you and allowing me to be a part of your life. Ross is about as close to being the perfect son-in-law as you can possibly get. Charming, respectful, level-headed, thoughtful of others, but what really puts him over the top is how he treats Keely. An example of that is when Keely recently got accepted into med school, and it might require Ross to move and find another job while she goes to school. Keely wanted to wait and wanted to do whatever was best for Ross. But Ross just stepped in and said, he was very adamant. He was willing to do whatever it took to make it so that she could have her dream and do what she really wanted to do. He knows how important it is, and he's willing to work to help her make that happen. Finally, and this is very important, Ross is a big Portland Trailblazer fan. So I mean, come on, how can it get any better than that? A few words of wisdom. Well, I have one failed marriage, so you might think twice about accepting any words of wisdom from me. However, I'll try to impart some wisdom, just in case you think, what the heck, we can at least listen. Spend time together. Be kind to each other, even when you don't want to. Try and put yourself in the other person's shoes to help understand where they're coming from when you don't agree with each other. Realize, and this is important, realize that being right is wrong, okay? Being right is really irrelevant. Forgive them when you still believe you're right. That is right. When you see your partner struggling, try and find a way to help lift their burden. Did I mention spend some time together? Finally, realize that no marriage is like a fairy tale you see in the movies. A marriage requires effort. You get out of it what you put into it. Be willing to put in the effort. Would everyone please stand and raise a glass to the happy couple. May their lives be filled with love, no matter what life has in store for them.
Benjamin and Jenny.
Thank you.
I don't know how to follow that because we didn't actually write a speech, so. But I want to thank everybody for coming and showing your support to Keely and Ross. And Raising kids is hard, and over the years, it's been an amazing journey, especially with Keely. She excels in everything she does, so, and obviously, she found the right mate, so let's raise a glass and cheers to Keely and Ross.
I'm grateful to have been a part of your life. It was just 10 years ago, actually this week, that we all had our first barbecue together as a family, and watching you grow from the age of 14, a freshman in high school, to become such a lovely young woman. I'm so proud. I'm so happy for you and the future that lies ahead of you. You definitely have found the right person. He seems to support you and love you. I wish that we could get to know him better, and I look forward to that over the many years to come. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. Here, I love
it. Dee and Barry, please come up.
We forgot we needed glasses to cheer him, so there you go. I guess I'm first, so I am overwhelmed by all of you today, and it reminds me that the big events are really amazing, but it took a lot of small, tiny events to get to the spot in Keely and Ross's life, and you guys have been a part of them. And if every single person stood up, you could probably say something amazing about what you've done with both of them. And I've had the privilege of seeing many of those things. And I thought about the small things, and I couldn't help but remember about Ross and bananas. How many of you know about bananas with Ross? Yeah, they called him Nanner Boy at school all the time because he ate more bananas than anybody ever saw. And I thought it was a great analogy because for many, many years, Ross clung to my leg, and you would have to like bribe him with bionicles or something to get him off to stay wherever he was supposed to stay. But then it started changing through the years, and it's because of the confidence and the goodness and the love that you guys gave him as he got older. And I started clinging to him because I knew he was going to be leaving me, and I wasn't very happy about that, even though I know it's the right thing to do. And as I continued to cling, he showed so many qualities that I learned from, all that have been already said today. And sometimes I look at him and I think, wow, how did you become who you are with me as your mom? And I think it's because of God's good grace. And I remember the scripture that said in Jeremiah, it says, "You are my people and I am your God." And you are our people. And you're their people. And he is our God. And I thank him today. And I love you both. And I want to raise a toast to the newest Mr. and Mrs. Robino.
Trade you.
Okay.
Well, thank you for sharing in this beautiful wedding day. It's a day we're surely going to all remember. And I want to begin by telling you something about a very special person in our lives. My mother, which a lot of you know, and Ross's grandmother. Last Tuesday evening, Patty Helene Robino went to live with her Heavenly Father in heaven. And my father and Ross's grandfather, John Paul Robino, was at her side, holding her hand as she took her very last breath. Their love is a beautiful example of marriage. 63 years of love and appreciation for each other, And that love grew stronger every day, as my dad said, daily over the last 3 weeks of her life. My mother was very impressed with Ross and Keely's devotion to each other, having dated for so many years. Their long courtship, and she enthusiastically approved of Ross and Keely's plans to be married. She was a huge influence in Ross's life, and I thank God for her blessings to both Ross and Keely. One day, about 20 years ago, when Ross was 4 or 5, he did something that really caught my attention. Do you know what I'm about to say? I didn't tell this story very many times, but I've told it a few times lately, so a few of you may have heard it. We were at our home, and Ross and his sister Paige and 3 or 4 other kids were fun at play, probably in one of Ross or Paige's rooms, and I remember the room, but I can't remember if it was Paige or Ross's at the time, because they traded rooms, because Paige would talk Ross into it quite often. And sometimes Paige's room would be here, Ross's there, sometimes the other way around. Sometimes both the beds would be moved into one room, so they had their own playroom. So it was probably when they had the playroom that this incident happened. They were playing pretty hard, as kids do, and Ross fell down. He tripped or something, and he fell on a hard piece of plastic, kind of on his back. It was probably a Lego or something, and it really hurt. It did. I saw it, and the tears flowed. He didn't hold them back. So the other kids and I huddled around him, and just after a few moments of tears, Ross fought through those tears, and he faintly curled up and started giggling. Almost on cue, and I think Ross probably knew this, one of the kids exclaimed, "Look, he was faking it." Ross then popped up, everyone laughed and resumed their play with great fervor. So at 4 years old, Ross had the wherewithal and maturity to deal with that pivotal situation that affected his friends, and he quickly set things right for them. 20 years later, he's still my pride and joy. Keely, you mean the world to Ross. You make the perfect partner for him through your life's journey with him forever. You mean the world to the rest of us too. And you're from a great family with remarkable character and qualities that are just amazing. Ross and Keely, over these last several years, you've gained an enormous amount of knowledge and experience together. Each day growing more and more prepared to partake in what you did today, the marriage sacrament that you just completed. You've been blessed as a couple, and the more you've shared those blessings with others, the more you found yourself surrounded by blessed people just like this today. We're all so excited to be a part of your lives as you pursue your ambitious goals and dreams together. And this toast is to you. Can you hold this? You hold the microphone for me, and we'll work as a good married couple on the last part. Ross and Keely Rubino, you have enriched our lives so much over the years. Please raise your glasses. May your future together be ever filled with peace, love, and joy, and all of God's most precious blessings. Salute.
Yay. Cheers.